Welcome to the S3700 webinar. My name is Yves van der Velde. I'm a product manager in Brady. I'm responsible for the THT printers, so the safety and facility identification printers. And this session will be about the launch of our newest printers, latest and greatest, the S3700. Maybe just a little bit of background. Why do we have actually a safety printer in place? Is because we at Brady, we strive to be compliant with all kind of European safety regulations to make the workplace safer and more efficient, and then more in the line with identification. So what are we specifically talking about? It's about safety signage, pipe markers, but also machine safety signs, CLP images, and then to make your workplace safer, for example, rack labeling and safety tags. So in that space, we actually have already a complete line of printers available, but why should you use a printer instead of just buying it locally? Somewhere in a hardware store. So if you have a printer on site, the main goal actually is to have a faster, so the main objective, so if you buy it somewhere locally in a shop, you can have it also rapidly available, but with a printer you will be able to print faster because the printer is accessible in your facility. You also will be able to make customized labels, meaning whatever label that is dedicated for your situation, your problem, then you just can print whatever you want. Some examples actually is whenever you have a new, facilities are changing a lot. So whenever you have a new situation, you can print a safety sign or a pipe marker and then test this. And if something doesn't really fit your needs, then you just print a new one and test it again. And that makes it a really agile system that you can update constantly to make your workplace actually safer. With stock safety signs, you always have to buy a bigger quantity. So also there, you only have to buy one if you need one. And making sure that the compliance part is also there. If you go to a local shop and you want to have a custom sign, you are not 100% sure whether or not this is compliant. Yeah. So what kind of products do we have already in place here? It's the S3700. That's our monocolor THT printer. Then it's a 10 centimeters wide print. Then we have also a 10 centimeters wide print, but multicolor. There's S3700, also featuring an XY cutter. This is the printer that we are launching. And then we have one printer which is a bigger size. It's 254 millimeters wide ribbons. It's also a THT, also multicolor. So coming to the next step. So maybe if you have questions in the meanwhile, just ask them. I have Tom sitting here who is supporting me. If it's not unclear, you can immediately ask the question, or we will handle the questions in the end, and then we'll come back to that. So you heard me saying on the printer part, THT, mono and multicolor. So what is actually, because we all are familiar with inkjet printers, what is the difference between an inkjet and a THT, so thermal heat transfer printer? So an inkjet printer, we all know this from home. That's actually, you are spraying ink on top of a piece of paper, a label material. So you can hear it already, you are spraying on top of. So the ink drops are falling on the surface of the paper. Okay. Where with THT, that's thermal heat transfer, you have a ribbon, yeah? And this is being heated, a ribbon with ink on there, and you have your label material. The ribbon is being heated by a print head, and the heated ink is transferred onto the label material. What makes that so special? Because you are heating up your label material, the porion of that material are going open, the ink is going in, and then when it's cooling down, the ink is actually inside of the material. where with inkjet, the ink is on top. So THT materials are typically more resistant against scratches, also UV resistant, moist resistant, extreme temperature. So it's so much more superior than with a typically office environment inkjet printer. And you still will see that if you walk around in companies, a lot of signage are still made with an inkjet printer, an office printer, which is maybe fine for communication towards your personnel in a more general way. But from the moment you go outside and you need something more durable, a THT printer is much more efficient. Then you also heard me saying something like mono and multicolor. So the S3700 is a monocolor. The S3700 is a multicolor. And then you also have full color. Full color is something that we are familiar with. The inkjet printers at home, they have full color, so you can print whatever color, but also gradients of color. Where with monocolor, it actually means you can print only one color. But you can print, for example, black on white, or black on a yellow label, but you also can print yellow on white, yellow on a black label, if it makes sense, or green on a white label. So it's only one color, but you can have a mixture of different colors together, so on label material and ribbon. What's the difference with multicolor? There you can print instead of one color on your label material, multiple colors. For example, in the examples over here, blue and orange, yellow and red, for example. In one go, so the printer, you say, okay, this label needs to have 3 or 4 or 5 colors, then it will print in one go all the different colors. So, I could understand that you say, okay, an inkjet printer is much more practical because you say, I need a color and then I can print whatever color I want. Still, be aware because we are about compliance also. So all the ribbons that we have so in the printer, and I will show you later on. So the ribbon is the thing where the ink is on. We actually specify these colors up front. So that means if you say, I want to have a blue sign, the blue sign is regulated by ISO 3864. Well, the blue in our ribbons is ISO 3864 compliant. You don't have to worry about that. We already pre-specified that, tested that, and we are sure that that's correct. Same for the green, same for the yellow, same for all the other colors. We have more colors than this. These are now the safety signs color, but you also have pipe marker colors. Also there we are compliant to these colors. So it's actually, for me as a customer, if I have to design something on an inkjet, I'm not really sure that I'm in that color triangle point that it should be, because I have to specify my color myself. It's all colors then. And with a THT printer from Brady, you just select, okay, I need blue. You put your blue in there and you don't have to worry about anything else. Yeah. Good. So now coming to the new printer, so that was all about the THT printers. One part of them is the S3700, the newest printer that we have today. And let's have a look at that. So it's also a THT printer, 4-inch. What is special about this printer? It has an XY cutter. And what do we mean with an XY cutter? So whatever label you are printing, you also can cut out the label in the shape that you want. So here you have, for example, a label that I have printed already, and you see the label is printed in a triangle shape. Yeah. What makes this printer also special, it has an onboard computer, so whatever label that you want to create, you don't need a computer. You just can walk up to the printer and say, I want to create a label. You type text on here, and then the text is coming on there. Or you say, I want to have an image, and then we have a full library of all kind of symbols, ISO 7010 compliant symbols or other type of symbols that, that you then can just enter and then print immediately out of there. Yeah. Now, what you have seen, now we have actually a label, sorry, a white label with black ink on there. I'm just going to show you. So everything on the printer which is yellow, so I have here a yellow lid. You open the printer by touching the yellow lid. So everything what is yellow you can touch. Inside, you can't see it now, but inside there are also a couple of things that are yellow, and these things you can touch. So this is the print lint, the ribbon what we call. The ribbon now black, showing black over here. That's actually inked onto a piece of plastic. Yeah? So the piece of plastic is then going over your material, yeah? And then with the THT print head leaving some kind of image on there. So now I will replace the black ribbon with the red ribbon. Yeah? So very easy, you just take the ribbon, you put it over that, you click it in, and now look at the screen. I'm closing this, it's accepting the ribbon, it's going to make some movements, and now, I don't know if you immediately can see that, but that should be red. Yeah? Exactly the same, if I now open it again, the red is in there, a little bit more visual, so I remove the label material, 10 centimeter wide, also on the spindle. And now if I remove it and move now, change it to a yellow material, yeah, you just place it in there, slide it a little bit through. It will now detect also the material, and you see immediately it detected yellow, so the background is yellow. It's an assurance for you, whatever you are designing, you already see, okay, it's the thing that I want. Okay, so let's now, there are also templates in there. You can save all your files in there, so I will open a file. I have prepared a cutout of one. So what I will do now, I will actually make a label or print a label where I just will cut out a number or a letter. Yeah? So without any print on there, so it will be yellow label material with an one cut it out. The easiest thing actually to do here is to remove the side part first. Oh, to remove the side parts first, and then you have your one over here. And this one is now cut it out, and you can put on your machine, for example, or on your rack as you want. You can actually go as long as you want. This printer will print up to 2 meter 500 centimeters long labels. That's cutting out. Let's now make another type of label. I'm going to make an evacuation label. Again, removing, because an evacuation label, I will start from a white label material. Okay. Entering the white label material. Maybe I am going to make a multicolor label. That's also important to see and understand. So a multicolor label means actually I'm going to make a label like this. Yeah. So a label where I have a white background, a black hand, and then a red border. Yeah. So it gives me now an error message because the current will not be able to be made anymore. Yeah. So I will start over. And I'm going to make actually an image. So one of these images, I'm going to take, don't grab here. So that's an image like this. Yeah. And now I press start. What it first does, it prints now, because the red ribbon is there. So it prints red first. And now it's going to ask me, and it tells me what to do on the screen. Okay, you have the red ribbon in there. Remove that red ribbon and then change it into a black one. Yeah. So, and you also can, if you want, have a look at what has been printed. So that has been printed. It's the red part that has been added there. So, then moving to the black part, I just close it. You can press OK and go, continue. You just close it, you wait a little bit, and then it will start, detects the black, and then he will start printing the black part. And here you have the label as shown there, before, the exact same label before. I understood from Tom that we have one question. One more. Yeah?
Did the printer also use its ribbon on the yellow one on yellow material? Was it only cut or also use the ribbon?
You mean when we printed this one? The number one. No, it was only the number one. So the question was, if we used the yellow one, was it also using the ribbon or only the material? It's only the material. So we have, if you printed this in red, then you only needed the red material. If you want this to be colored in some kind of way, always take the material as a color. That's the most easiest and cheapest solution. Okay. So now we have printed a multicolor label. You can make your labels bigger. Yeah. For example, this one, you can actually, like here, you can just click on it and then you can press text next to it. Yeah. So that's all possible, and then it will start printing with the text next to it. Let's do that. Yeah. But it's also new here. You saw that there was a screen on there showing that it was printing. Now it comes in the printer queue. Maybe you have to go a little bit deeper. There is a printer queue. That means it is printing, but at the meantime you actually can do other things as well. Now he started with printing the black part, and now he says, okay, you have to change it over to the red part. And this is what we're going to do now. And you see, loading in materials in and out, it's rather simple, straightforward, and actually it has no hassle at all. And this is, as we designed, exactly the same what comes out. You can play here. Also, you can make it bigger, smaller, the symbol. With the symbol by, you can move it. You can make the symbol smaller. I don't know if you can still see it. And you can move things around. So it has a touch screen that you actually can design whatever you want on the printer itself. What we also can do is we have a mobile app here. It's new actually in this printer. No. So we have a mobile app. So that's an app actually where you can design your own labels. A little bit the same as here, yeah, but on the app you actually can, for example, say, okay, I want to have a pipe marker, Then he will ask you, okay, what kind of pipe marker? So pipe marker plus, no. Then what kind of pipe marker? You say, okay, I want an acid waste. Use what kind of diameter? And then, okay, I want to have arrows with it. I want to have a symbol with it. And that makes your life really easy. And then you say print, and then it will come out as you want. I would actually, from here on, we will go to the more practical stuff. So he asked me to change the red ribbon. So if there are questions, feel free to type them on the practicalities of the printer. I will handle them then immediately now. And if it's all clear, then it's all clear, of course. One thing about the app, that's a new app that we have. It allows at this moment of time only monocolor. So for this printer, it makes sense to have it, but just be aware that it's only monocolor. We are actually developing this even further, that also the cutout will be possible and the multicolor will be possible later on as well. Yeah. So that's the thing that we then have designed here. So the example here is a black on an orange, and here it's white. So it doesn't detect at this moment of time the label material. That will come later on. Also the detecting of the label material, and it also will tell you, okay, be aware, you have to change your label material. Good. I think we have a question.
If I want to print a few multicolor labels, should I change ribbons with every printed piece?
If you want to have a few printed labels, should I change my labels or my ribbon with each printed piece? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. If you make your one label repeating on one big print up to 2.5 meters, then it's no. If you say 10 times print, print is 10 times, then yes. Then you will have to be able to change it each time. Yeah. Good. Okay, let's now heading back to the presentation. So we actually, so it's a multicolor printer built-in cutter, so you can cut out whatever you want. You also have templates in there that will guide you through some kind of processes to set up a label, easy material loading, fast print speeds, walk up and print, so you can design your printer print easily here on the computer. What we also typically see is that this printer is also connected to a computer itself, and not the built-in computer, because we also have Brady Workstation. So the features in here are really extended already, but if you really want to design and really have everything placed in a more graphical way, that you can see it on a bigger screen, then Brady Workstation is more suitable for that, and that's also free, Brady Workstation. And we have also, if you want to have more guidance there, we also have a paid version. Yeah. But then you can go into databases and then look up liquids, for example, for CLP labeling, and then it will tell you what kind of graphics should be on there. So it's really a guidance tool then, whenever you pay for that. Okay, this printer, to who will we sell it? Yes, Tom? One more question?
Yeah, how does the printer cut the material, and how can the knife be changed to a cutter?
So how does it cut the material? So there is in the printer itself, there is, and I'm looking at it, but you can't see it, there is a small cutter. It's a knife that actually goes up and down, and here in that position only does this. Yeah? So it's hard to see here, but it's just a small cutter knife that goes left and right. You can exchange it. It's in the manual how to do that. It's rather easy. you take it out, and then you place it back in there. Yeah? I will not touch it now because I still have to print, but and then afterwards, if you place it in there, you have actually some numbers on there that, depending on type of material, you have to cut it deeper or less deep, and then you actually have to set the number correct. But we also have a video which we will not show, but will be sent afterwards with the presentation. Just have a look at the video. Just have a look at the video, and so just have a look at the video, and the video will actually explain you how everything works. Yeah. So now go back to the presentation. So walk up and print. So to who will we sell this printer? So it's an SFID, so Safety and Facility Identification printer. So typically you will find this printer or with the Health and Safety Manager on his desk connected to Brady Workstation, or you have this printer somewhere in the production facility. And then we are talking about the maintenance manager or the plant managers. And they will have access to this printer, and then the maintenance manager, for example, will print labels that are, for one application that I have seen that is really interesting is everything that comes in as a maintenance part. They print a label, they stick it on there. It's a QR code or a scan code, and then they put the same scan code on their warehouse racks. Another thing that they can do is also label the parts themselves, not only the boxes. The health and safety managers, they will actually more take care about safety signage, as we have seen in the examples, and that's more testing. So there is something that goes wrong, or where there is a potential unsafe situation, then they go there, they look, okay, these are the countermeasures, and these are the labels that we have to take care of, and then they hang it over there, they test it, and then they go back to that. The Lean 5S manager, that's on typically also making sure that the visual parts, so for example, you have hammers or tools, and you want to make sure that your tools are always on the same spot. You can actually print, there are also tool templates in there. You can print a hammer and then say, okay, put in the name under there, hammer, and then print it also out. So these are the target audience that we will sell it. What kind of applications do we have? Maybe a good one to see here is the bottom left one. That's again the letters cut out. But then you have a whole range of letters cut out, and you remove your waste first, as we have done before, and then we have a transfer tape. You put the transfer tape onto these letters, and then you remove the liner, and then you have all your letters on this transfer tape. You apply the letters and transfer tape onto the wall or machine that you want, and then you can remove the transfer tape afterwards. That's just to make sure that the letters are not all, that you don't have to stick them all individually, otherwise it's going to be a hassle to really apply them. Applications are the more general stuff. It's like electrical cabinets, machines, whatever you want to label. We also have tags. So what you have seen now was a continuous label material. What we also have is tags. So that's individual tags. If you add a tag in there, it will recognize a field where you can print in, and then you can print immediately into that tag. There is a hole in there already, so you easily can put your tie wrap in between and then hang it onto the machine. Another thing is low light conditioning safety signs. That's actually photolymaterial. Photolymaterial is whenever the light is going out, then the material will still first emit light that it has absorbed during the condition when there was light, and this emitting of light will happen actually in two conditions. One, for the people to go out of the building, and secondly, then in the lower light conditions is then for the fire department to come in. And that's another type of material, that's a reflective material, mainly used outside, whenever there is vehicle traffic going along. So whenever somebody is shining in there with headlights, this material will light up. CLP labeling, then labeling on tanks, labeling on pipes. Then we also have a complete offering for food and beverage industry, where we have what we call the tough wash. This material is antibacterial, also really sticks on stainless steel. You can pressurize, clean that, and it will remain there in place. Then we have magnetic material, that's the bottom right one. It's a material that you can actually, it's a magnetic material on which we print, and you can just stick onto the warehouse racks, for example. There are a couple of materials which you can't cut out in XY cutting. That's the magnetic material, that's a tough wash material. Also, one important thing about the tough wash, you have with the tough wash also metal detectable. So if particles of that material go, for example, into your food process, it will be detected. So these materials you can't cut because they are too thick to cut through, so it's not possible to cut them, and there you only have to work with the rectangular shapes that are offered. So it's also a roll, the cutting on the end is possible, but XY cutting is not possible. Then going to the S3700, so what do we offer? We have two models actually, one with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and another without. So what is we actually prefer that we sell the Bluetooth Wi-Fi printer. That's the main goal, because you see the price of the two are the same. We are also will develop more the mobile app. We see really benefits of that. But there are countries where we still don't have the certification for the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and there in these countries we will actually also offer the non-Wi-Fi Bluetooth ones. Then you just connect it to your internet and you have the same functionality again if you are on the same network at least. Yeah. Then the previous one came with the free version of Brady Workstation. If you also want to have Brady Workstation with all the apps enabled, then you can have the SFID suite, so Safety and Facility Identification Suite. That is a whole bundle of apps that we allow smoother label creation in a guided kind of way, and that will cost you 200 euros extra. So next to the printer we also have the stylus. The stylus is also in here. It's a small stylus, as you know, with your tablet, for example. It makes, if you really want to go into really details here on the screen and your fingers are a little bit more thick, then you can go into detail with this stylus. We also have cleaning swabs. It's to clean the print head, for example. And then the print head has to be cleaned at a certain moment of time. And that's straightforward. Also in the manual, it's also in there. And then you also have a trolley to put this printer in there. For example, if you want to have this to show it to customers, you also buy the trolley, you put it printer in there, and you easily can transport the printer from your office to the customer. Now, what we also have is the ribbons that go into the printer. We have actually a complete range of single color ribbons. That's all the colors that you see. That's yellow, blue, orange, black, etc. And then we also have multicolor printers, multicolor ribbons, and actually that's the way that works is that there are multiple colors on one ribbon. Yeah. So black and red. So you have seen that I had to swap over the black and red. If you don't want to swap over, then you can print a certain width of label in red, and then black goes over that. Yeah, so we have two types of 8-inch and 16-inch labels, so smaller and then bigger ones that you then can print. A little bit more waste, because you always print a complete ribbon, but it's more easy. You don't have to replace the ribbons always. The cost price will be more or less the same. per length. And then we also, that's two types of colors, and we go up to 4. We don't have CMYK. You will see that some competitors still have this, but CMYK printing and THT printing is not really really nice, I would say. Therefore, we stopped with that, and we have an inkjet printer that has special materials that also, with this type of materials and ink, then also go into the material. So we are working on that also in the background. And we have already some inkjet printers available. So if you want a full color printing, CMYK printing, then we convert you to inkjets. Same for the ribbon. Next to the ribbons, we also have all kind of materials. That's a scope of them. So we have vinyl. Vinyl is an elastic material that you really can bend over some things. For example, an edge of a machine. Then polyester is a more stiff material, typically used for pipe marking, because vinyls have chlorides, polyester have no chlorides, typically most used in pipe marking applications. Metal detectable tough wash, we talked about that. Repositional material, that's a material with the glue that is a little bit, it's still sticky, but if you want to remove it, you just take the label and you easily can take it off and place it somewhere else, or at least easily take it off. With the vinyl, once you stick it on there to take it off, you have to have some tools and then also decrease the glue out of that. With the repositionable, the glue will come off rather easy with the label. Cold temperature material to go into temperature. So what's actually a cold temperature material? It's a material that you can apply in a cold temperature. So we are talking about here applying. If you, for example, the B595, that's vinyl, you can also use that in a cold temperature, but you can't apply it. And that's where the difference. If you have maintenance, for example, and you want to apply labels and your cooling cell is not on, you can go for B595. If your cooling cell is on and you want to apply a label in a cold temperature room, then we convert you to the B549. Then we have the tags which I have shown. We have some raised profiles, that's like little plastic labels that go on top of, we all have that on our laptop or on machines, the thicker labels that actually stick on the side. These are these ones. Magnetic material, metallized material, also something that we know from our laptops that also go onto machines. We also have this. Tough stripe, this material that goes on the floor, that's really with the rubber glue, so it's really sticking to the floor. Then we have the photoly material, which we also discussed, high temperature material, same as the cold temperature, so high application temperature, retroreflective, and then tamper evidence. So if you want to, that's more in the product ID space, but you also can print this with this machine, because we know some customers tend to use this as a mini factory to, if you have a lower quantity of product ID, product label that you have to print, then this machine can also do that. So the tamper-proof material and the paper labels are also in there. And all these materials also come in different colors. So you will see that we have a brochure that actually shows you all the ribbon colors, but also all the materials and the different kind of colors that we have in the materials. It's a whole extensive list, and that is something that makes Brady also unique. We have the widest offering on materials and ribbons in the market. And that's something that we should play to the customer. If we come to a customer, then we should say, okay, we have a very good printer, one of the best printers in the market, but you can actually print everything that you want to have in your facility, you can print it with this printer. What makes our printer unique? It's the onboarding editing computer. You will see with competitors, not all of them have them. The Dura label is one of the printers that has this. It's less, it's visible here in the market, but less prominent than Lighthouse or Rebo. The print speed, we are, as you can see, the fastest in print speed, and then I'm talking about print speed, not cut speed. Then the minimum and the maximum size, let's say that's on par with everybody else. Multicolor ribbons, that's something is more or less unseen in the market. So if you want to print with others, you always have to replace the cassette. So with us, it's just one ribbon, and then you don't have to change it if you opt for that. Then you have the built-in XY cutter, you have Wi-Fi, you have Bluetooth, you have a free mobile app that we also have, and then the free label creation with all kind of templates and all kind of artwork built in there. Print DPIs, for everybody that's more or less the same. 300 DPI for an SFID, so for safety and facility identification is more than enough. Then what do we all have available for you guys? We have a leaflet for the S3700. We have a movie. If you want to see the cutting and everything, if you want to see the inside, really look at the movie. It tells you also all the applications, everything what I have discussed now, you will see coming back. I think it's a very good movie. The movie also works, it's in English and has subtitles, so if you want to share it with customers, you can, and they easily can read the subtitles. And then we have a do-it-yourself brochure. That's a brochure that I talked about, where you all have the values of the printers first, then you have the ribbons, and then you also have all the materials. The good thing is, a material that works on this printer will also work on other printers. So the S3700, the i3300, and the BP3538, all the ones, they're all using the same materials. Quick install guide, user manual, also available in all languages. Now, we already had this session with the experts. So what we actually recommend here is that you first have a look in your ERP system and make sure that this printer is added there. Put all the material that we make available for you on your website, and prepare your own collaterals, send this out to your customers. How do you do that? Our advice is you have actually all the Brady printers still in the market, starting with the global mark. Address all these customers that you know that they are still live and active. Address them, because the global mark will be placed in the next calendar year somewhere on end of service, it's already on end of life, but we will not support it anymore. And also in the consumable part, so try to convert them as fast as possible. Then also look at the printers that you already have sold a couple of years ago. I would say 3 to 10 years ago. If you still have one of these BVP 3537, S3000, BVP 3030, and etc., just have a look in your database. Also contact them, but also have a look at for example, customers where we lost deals, right? And check, okay, did they go to a competitor? The reason why, and then maybe come in with this new printer and convert them. Maybe the customer didn't go to a competitor, was not ready at that moment of time, and we can convince them now to go to a new printer. Good. I'm at the end of the story. I'm going to look to Tom. Do we have questions? So he's saying no, but if you still have questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to wait a couple of seconds for you to type. So I see that no questions are coming in. Then thank you all for joining. If you still have questions, reach out to your local sales. They all have this printer at hand. They can come over and give you a demo if you want. They can actually also give you a training on that. And they also can go with you to your first customer or two customers. So thank you all for joining this webinar, and have a pleasant day.